Today on Public Eye News, the parents of Oxford High School shooter Ethan Crumbley are to stand trial, and later Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to federal gun charges.
Later, Kenzie Harrod will have your weather, and Taekwon Cox will have your sports updates. Hi, I'm Brad Seaboard.
And I'm Megan Tarcia, and this is Public Eye News. James and Jennifer Crumbley, the parents of Oxford High School shooter Ethan Crumbley, were denied their appeal to have charges dismissed and are set to stand trial. The two are facing involuntary manslaughter charges for their actions leading to their son murdering 4 of his classmates back in November of 2021. Prosecutors believe the Crumbleys allowed guns to be accessible to their son and ignored the signs that he had poor mental health, which resulted in the school shooting. James and Jennifer Crumbley have been in custody since shortly after the shooting took place in 2021, as they are unable to afford the $500,000 bond. And 5 people have been killed due to a multi-vehicle crash on an Illinois highway. A semi-truck carrying 7,500 gallons of a hydrogenous ammonia swerved to avoid a collision but hit another vehicle with a trailer. The tank of the truck was punctured, spilling half of its chemical load onto the roadway. The 5 victims killed, identified as Kenneth Bryan, 34, and his children, Walker Bryan, 10, and Rosie Bryan, 7, alongside Danny J. Smith, 67, of New Haven, Missouri, and Vesile Korishin, 31, of Twinsburg, Ohio. The autopsies conducted yesterday revealed that the victims all passed due to exposure to the ammonia, a chemical that is known to cause severe burns and corrode organic tissue. The toxic plume from the accident forced the evacuation of 500 residents in the area, and officials of the National Transportation Safety Board said the remainder of the toxic cargo has been removed and taken to a secure location.
And on Monday, a national Democratic law firm argued that Wisconsin is violating the Federal Voting Rights Act through its witness requirements for absentee voting. This comes after a ruling last year that elections officials are not allowed to fill in information on witness certifications. In Wisconsin, state law requires a witness signature on absentee ballots. The witness must be 18 years of age and U.S. citizens. Elias Law Group is advocating for voters that argue the law presents difficulty. And in Ohio, part of a major Republican-backed reform of the K-12 education system will take effect despite pushback. The Ohio Department of Education will be replaced by the new Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, which holds similar responsibilities to the latter. Despite a temporary restraining order, Governor Mike DeWine says that the current department will cease to exist at midnight tonight, with the new department immediately assuming power. In order to comply with the order, however, his team will not be appointing a new director to the department. Instead, it will be led by current interim state superintendent. Under the new department, power would shift from the Ohio Board of Education to the director, who will be appointed by the governor. This director would also be in charge of decisions on school curricula and academic standards. This change has been controversial since it was first introduced in 2022. And in Dowagiac, Michigan, lead has been found in the city's water. Residents and city officials react to the situation. Erica Finke has more.
And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break.
The Houston Astros are world champions.
These guys are willing to do whatever it takes.
The Astros used a camera system to steal
The scandal is 5% of the story.
Their pursuit of edge had a dark side to it.
It's called the bleeding edge. You have to take risks.
Became a brutally efficient business, and the Astros did better than anybody else.
If you think you're right, you're willing to endure a lot.
I'd have thrown them all out.
Lifetime ban.
Lifetime ban.
Premieres Tuesday, October 3rd, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Kenzie Harrod with your weather for today. And taking a look behind us at the Academic Mall, it is sunny and bright, which is a great change for October. Looking at our current conditions around the UP, in Houghton, it is 85 degrees and sunny all around the UP today. In Ironwood, it is going to be 81, and in Iron Mountain, it is going to be 82. Menominee is 81, Escanaba is 75. Taking a look over at the other side of the UP, in Manistee, it is 72 degrees, Sault Ste. Marie is 80, and back in beautiful Marquette, it is 76 and sunny again. Taking a closer look at our current conditions, the winds are southwest at 7 miles per hour with our barometric pressure at 30.02 inches and steady. Taking a look at tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 66, winds south 10 miles per hour. And looking towards tomorrow, thunderstorms, the high of 72 and a low of 53 with winds southwest at 12 miles per hour. And taking a look ahead at our week, it's going to be Thursday 64, a little bit of rain and a low of 49. Friday is 52, again with that rain and a low of 43. And then Saturday, the sun's going to come out just a little bit, still some clouds with a high of 50 and a low of 41. And that is all for weather today. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Thank you so much, Kenzie, for that weather update. And in national news, a 9-year-old is safe and sound at home with her family after vanishing during a camping trip in upstate New York over the weekend. Charlotte Senna was riding her bike when she disappeared from the campsite at Morrow Lake State Park Saturday evening, where it was believed she was abducted and not just lost. After a massive 2-day-long search for the young girl, investigators were able to identify a fingerprint from a ransom note allegedly left by the suspect. She identified as 47-year-old Craig Nelson Ross Jr. Nelson was identified using his fingerprints already in the system from a 1996 DWI charge, and police were able to track down his address, made entry, and found the girl inside of a cabinet. Charlotte was found unharmed and has since been reunited with her family. And Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty today to 3 federal firearms charges in a Delaware court. President Joe Biden's son is being charged with lying about his drug use in October 2018 on a form to buy a gun that he kept for only about 11 days. Hunter could face up to 25 years in prison if convicted on these charges. His lawyer, Abe Lowell, said in court that he plans to file a motion to dismiss the charges, challenging their constitutionality. Hunter Biden acknowledged the struggling with an addiction to crack cocaine during that period in 2018. The judge says he had been repeatedly tested for drugs and is negative. And student loan repayments are on the minds of students and alumni across the country. They restart after being paused during the heat of the pandemic. For many, these payments are crippling for their long-term goals and ambitions. Carter Evans has one story out of Los Angeles.
The constant reminders are inundating Manuel Galindo's inbox. The Berkeley grad owes more than $28,000 on federal student loans. Galindo grew up poor in South LA, raised by immigrant parents from El Salvador. Now, the 31-year-old has his dream job at a nonprofit that fights for borrowers. He makes about $80,000 a year, but much of that goes to support other family members. Restarting loan payments will mean painful cuts. Or being able to rent this house. Repayments are due for 43 million borrowers. Spending analysis firm Numerator found most will start cutting back on vacations and restaurants. As a last resort, some will have to cut essentials like groceries. Until his student debt is settled, Goodlindo can achieve his ultimate goal, buying a home for his parents. And right now, the number of deceptive robocalls and emails is soaring, some from scammers offering to erase student debts for a fee. Now, if you've got any questions, the Federal Trade Commission says you should give your loan servicer a call directly. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your sports update after this break.
Consumed by pain and passion, Frida's art imitates life.
I believe the painting is a message for Rivera.
Despite it all,
everything is falling apart.
She continues to paint. The final installment of Becoming Frida Kahlo.
Whoever opens a door or a window opens it for everybody. And Frida Kahlo opened windows.
Tonight at 9 on WNMU TV.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Taekwon Cox and this is Public Eye Sports. Starting off with your sports recap. NMU women's volleyball are 2-1 in their last 3 games. Setter Lauren Van Mortel was awarded with GLIAC Setter of the Week after having 99 assists in just one weekend. The women's volleyball team swept rivalries Michigan Tech and also swept Lake Superior State. Van Mortel is now tied 3rd in the GLIAC in total assists with 253. The next Northern game is home Friday, October 6th against Parkside Rangers. Go Cats. And swinging it over to golf, women's golf team is currently sitting tied for 3rd in their away event at Lewis University. One round into the Lewis Flyer Intercollegiate Tournament, Maya Hunter is doing great, leading the team with shooting a 77. She had 2 birdies to help her remain in 2nd in the round. Close behind her is fellow teammate Alyssa Yagi with a score of 81. The remainder of the tournament is being hosted today. Good luck, Northern. And bouncing it over to basketball, new NBA rules are here, and they made it clear that no player who isn't hurt needs a night off. Marketing this rule the best, forward Kawhi Leonard, who sat most of the year while he played for the Raptors, and even though he claims that he was hurt the entire year, most people question if he is actually hurt or if he is just sitting out. Kawhi says that there is no policy the NBA brings will help him play more games. But since this is now a rule, players will not be able to take rest days and instead healthy players will be expected to play in all NBA games. And that's it for sports. Back to you, Megan and Brad.
Thanks for that sports update, Taekwon. We've certainly had a lot of impressive performances from our Wildcats this year. Moving on to a little bit of extra news for you. In an Alaskan tradition, Fat Bear Week is no longer at risk of being shut down due to the government shutdown. Residents construct brackets on their favorite brown bears who have been feasting on salmon to prepare for winter, leading up to a championship at the end of the week where one bear will be crowned the winner. Over 1 million votes were sent in last year, and the event was at risk as national park employees are in charge of the votes, and a government shutdown would close down their access to the park's social media accounts, since they are part of the federal position. Thankfully, the event is safe to bear on. And over the weekend, a 104-year-old woman went skydiving in hopes of her jump making it into the Guinness Book of World Records. Dorothy Hoffner made the jump on Sunday with Skydive Chicago, who are working to record her jump in the famous book. Her tranquil demeanor was happily met by family and friends as she completed her 7-minute dive. In the future, Dorothy plans to ride in a hot air balloon. And that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. I'm Brad Seaborg.
And I'm Megan Tarcia, and this is Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.